Hi guys, Vechs here and welcome back to, oh my god. Oh my gosh. Well, I finally did it. I got Mastery Badge Ace Tanker on the Roomba, meaning I am better than 99% of other Roomba drivers this past 7 days. And I also got a Mastery Badge Ace Tanker, Reaper, Top Gun, High Caliber, Tank Sniper. It was a draw though because the artillery ran off and we couldn't find them. But I dealt 4,951 damage, getting 7 kills. Wow. Wow, am I ever going to be able to top that in the Roomba? I hope so. I hope so. What an incredible tank. I am in love with this vehicle. It's so... the playstyle is so good. And you might look at the armor and say, like, everything that hits this tank is going to just crush it. And yeah, that's true. But it teaches you to play really smartly and just don't get hit in the first place. And really be mindful of how you position yourself. So I think playing this tank, it'll bring out the best in players, because if you play it like a lot of tanks, you'll just die. So it really has its own play style. But I play it very aggressively as a mobile support sniping platform. And I think that's pretty fitting. Anyway, let's go take a look at this match. There's my beautiful little tank. Got the American flag on one side, the Calico Jack on the other, like all my other vehicles I've decided to keep. And that gun! Look at that gun with the awesome... awesome muzzle attachment. What is that called? It's not a barrel shroud. Muzzle brake! Muzzle brake, right? Yeah, I think it's a muzzle brake. So anyway, I sit here and watch where the team goes. And what I was saying before is that this tank is best played as a support, like mobile fire support. It has amazing camouflage. So my first plan is, and you don't really want to lead a charge of this thing. That's generally a bad idea. So the first thing I do is hang back about a grid or so behind the heavy tanks that are going up front, and I prepare to give them some supporting fire. And I'm not sure what's going on there. Fail Artie? Some people get into like some sort of argument or something in the chat this game, and I wasn't really paying attention to it because there wasn't much point. Although it does actually get me a kill. Did our artillery hit one of our own tanks maybe? I don't know. But yeah, the argument going on in the chat actually gets me a kill. So I'm sweeping my gun around looking for any potential shots. Let's go into my view. And I'm like, I can't hit him. Nope, still can't hit him. And I noticed, I'm like, whoa, what was that black flash? And then it was the Alf Panzer IV sweeping his barrel through my turret. Kind of funny looking. But yeah, we both have the same idea. And since he's takes more XP to get to the Alf Panzer IV, which is the vehicle that comes after this one, I assume that he spent a lot of time in a Roomba too. It's a safe bet that he has. And so if I'm doing the same thing he did, then I must be doing something right, hopefully. Now I couldn't see... I could not see the tanks that were over there. They disappeared. So I decided to try and relocate to do some supporting fire. And I shoot at the IS-6 and just barely miss them. And then I noticed that there's squabbling going on in the chat, and the T70 just stopped. T20 just stopped. So guess what? I take a blind shot on the assumption that he stopped to type out a response in chat, and look, T20 says he's a abusive something. I'm not going to repeat that. And then I typed in all chat, "You were typing, T20," and with a smiley face. So typing got him killed right there. I hope you guys saw that. That was my first kill of this battle. So I saw all those that big rush of tanks going in to our base along the north. They're flanking pretty hard, and I'm like, we don't have anything back here. And it's just me and 2 other tank destroyers. There's not much back here. Do I take a shot here? Yeah, I was trying to shoot through the houses because there were small gaps, but I just hit a house anyway. Oh well, no worries. Yeah, so I come back to base because I see that, yeah, that right there. That's a big problem right there. So I'm thinking what would be the best position to take here. And I make a mistake here. I come up to try and hit this KV-4. I bounce off them and then take 1, 2, 3 hits. I'm pretty sure that was probably their Chi-Ri shooting at me, because it was lots of tiny hits. I'm pretty nervous about getting shot by guys coming up here, but... And I don't know why I didn't get a red outline there on that guy. And that's one reason I was hesitant to shoot, is I was not even sure if that would ghost through his tank and not even hit him. So I take a peek out here, see what I can see. Can I see anything? Not really. No. I let my binoculars kick in, still can't see anything. But I'm worried about us getting flanked here. Now I have a shot here on that IS, but he pulls back, and then he comes back, and then I get him right in the side there and deal tons of damage. Alright. This is what I was waiting on, is somebody to try to flank here. Now he shoots, goes right over my head. He gets set on fire. And then I realize that I can't aim down enough right here to properly hit him, so I need to adjust how I pull out. So I go turn this way. And I take another hit, unfortunately. Do a lot of damage to him, though. I think that, I want to say that's the Chi-Ri again hitting me. Very worried about guys coming up that way. So I figure if they're going to pull up, I got to just get out of here, because I'll get caught out in the open and shot. So a plan starts to form. I'm thinking that if they haven't come up yet this way, then their forces must be around the B2 and B3 square. Grid, I should say, I guess. So I'm thinking, what's going to happen if those 2 tank destroyers that are in my base right now, let me go and look at them. Those, the AT-8 and the AT-15A. Well, now just the AT-15A. Alright, there's a Chi-Ri back there, but he hides from me because I don't think he wants to get shot at by me. So I quickly run into the town to break line of sight. The Chi-Ri does not appear to have the wherewithal to come chase me down and fight me, so he's going to hide. So I continue on with my original plan, which is to come up behind these enemies that are in our base, and I get this IS-6 right in the side. Alright, that's one down. Now there's this other tank, a T-44, which is over here. And I see stuff. I think the Chi-Ri's blind firing into the town to try to hit me. I think. So the T-44 doesn't seem to actually realize that I've come up behind him until it's too late and I get him in the side. So that's 2 kills. So with that, the attack on the north side of our base is blunted. And I see, yeah, that's got to be the Chi-Ri blind firing into the town in hopes of hitting me. Because the explosions are too small for artillery, I think. So what I do is I come in here, and I'm just going to sit here for a little bit. And hopefully let the artillery forget about me, let the Chi-Ri forget about me. Just kind of lay low and let the heat die down. Because like the artillery, for all I know, could be looking over at, aiming over at my area. Just waiting on me to reappear. So what I want to happen is for him to start aiming at somewhere else and just kind of forget about me. So After laying low a bit, I pull back out here and I spot that Chiri. So by laying low, I let him come out and feel safe, and then I sneak up behind him, get him. He probably assumed that I went around and just went back into our base. So now I've got a pretty good spot from over here to fire on the enemies, and I get a good hit on that T-95. He's a pretty big threat because he has tons of armor. Even my gun, I don't think will penetrate him from the front. I get this IS-3 right in the side right there, just adding up that damage. And now I'm like, uh-oh, Jag Panther is looking at me. This building here is my only cover. So I'm thinking about what to do, and I'm like, I know what to do. I can just back up, keeping this building constantly between me and them, and try to drive out of sight range and break line of sight by getting more distance and more objects between me and them. And that'll break line of sight on me. And then, hopefully, they'll forget about me, and then I can re-engage. I'm kind of getting the feel for this tank the more I play it. And you have a great ability to pop out and get a first hit in, like that, because the gun is really accurate. The gun does tons of damage. It has good pen. It has a great gun. The mobility, I would say, is average. It's not very fast, but it's not sluggish either. So it gets like a 3 out of 5 for the mobility. If I was to rate this tank, I would say firepower is 10 out of 10, mobility 5 out of 10, and then protection 1 out of 10. It has no protection. It just doesn't exist. So when you play this thing, you've got to like pop out, use your oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, no. He just, my gun, my actual main gun, took the hit for that shell instead of my hit point pool. So he's actually destroyed my main gun. But then I use a repair kit. Now I track him. His tracks just absorb that. So what you just saw right there, let me slow this down so I can talk. What you just saw right there is he shot me, and instead of my health pool taking the damage my main gun did, I shot him. Instead of his health pool taking the damage, his tracks did. And we both, I think, popped repair kits. He repaired his tracks. I repaired my gun. I've switched to gold because, God, fruga, I am not losing this. I want to win this. I want to get top gun. I feel it. So I will pull out that premium shell for this shot. And where do I get them? I get them right in below the turret, I think. Let's go to my view. Yeah, I get them right on that front glacis plate, upper glacis, I think. Yep, that was a pretty good spot to shoot them. I probably didn't need gold for that. Maybe normal round would have pinned. And now I realize that I need to just run away because artillery might. Yeah, apparently the IS-3 may have been ammo racked because of our T-20, maybe. I don't know. That's what he just said. I'm just in shock right here because he crit my gun instead of my health pool. Like, that would have been over had he just turned his barrel to the left or right and shot, the gun shield or the hull of the vehicle. But instead, he put a round right into my gun. Oh, man. So I got pretty lucky there. Now, because the T-95 has ridiculous... Actually, I think the T-95 might be the most heavily armored vehicle in the game. At least from the front. I'm pretty sure from the front, the T-95 has the most frontal armor in the game. I think. Pretty sure it is. So if you're ever going to shoot gold at anything in this game, it should be at the front of a Type 59. Now, Type T-95. Now, thankfully, he's kind of got an offset angle to me. So I really actually don't have that great of a shot, but I track him and then move to a better position, and then I get a cleaner shot into his side. The first shot hit his tracks, but he was at like a 45-degree angle offset, so I could either shoot the side or the front armor, both of them at roughly a 45-degree angle. And even my gold rounds, I would not be surprised if they bounced off the angled side of a T-95. The Artie drops a shell right next to me, and I type in chat like, I gotta go change my pants now. Because that would have killed me had it been anywhere near me. So then, we're kind of, unfortunately, we're going to basically draw because of the match length mechanics. If we had more time, we could easily just go find the Artie and kill it. But there's only 2 minutes, well, 1 minute now left in the match, and we have to go and get to the enemy's cap. And I was hoping maybe the two of us would cap it. Actually, what I was kind of hoping is maybe they could change the game and say if a base is being capped, as long as a base is being captured, the game time can stay at 0 and the match won't end as long as a base is being captured, so that a draw won't happen in this scenario. Kind of like a sudden death mode, you know. But unfortunately, the time runs out, even though we're so close to capturing the base and winning, and so that's how it becomes a draw. And the artillery takes one last shot and misses. But if either of us had found the Artie, I had high explosive ready, and either one of us would just one-shot the artillery vehicle. So that's it. That is Mastery Badge, Ace, Tanker, Reaper, Top Gun, High Caliber, Tank Sniper, Super, Ultra, Badass, Waffenträger. I'm Traegering that Waffen into battle, and then being very effective with it. Look at my butt. Look at the sexy butt. Look at the sexy Roomba butt. A Roomba, 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 Roomba. Yep. So I officially love this vehicle 110% more. This might be my favorite vehicle so far in the game. I'm not sure. I do like my EZ2. I like the T-29. I like the T-71. I like a lot of vehicles, but this thing is just... It's so much fun to have a mobile, just giant gun platform. And that's all the Germans wanted. Historically, the Germans were just trying to put the biggest anti-tank guns they could find on the cheapest basic chassis. And it's the same reason for the that Waffenträger Alf Panzer IV over there, is they just took the biggest anti-tank gun they had and they just bolted it onto the chassis of a Panzer IV. You know, because they had tons of those lying around, and they were relatively cheap to make. Well, they didn't need to make any, they already had them. But the point is that it was a cheap hull to just stick an anti-tank gun on, compared to, say, trying to put it on a Tiger or a Tiger II, something that cost a lot more Reichsmarks to build for them. So this thing, I don't think this thing ever actually existed. It was just in plans. But Rheinmetall Borsig was supposed to build this, and all it was going to be is just a cheap way to make mobile anti-tank guns. But yeah, this thing was never made in favor of using other vehicles. Realistically, I think the Elephant / Ferdinand probably be a better just mobile anti-tank gun, maybe, because this thing is, in real life, this thing would be extremely vulnerable to high explosive. Like, even small high explosive rounds landing nearby would most likely kill or seriously injure the crew. In this game, if a 76mm high explosive round landed, say, on those wrecked boxes over there, nothing at all would happen to my tank. In real life, if you were standing, you know, in this tank, sitting on that seat right there, and a 76, millimeter high explosive shell landed over there, you would be having a very, very bad day. It might not kill you, but you're probably not going to be fighting. You're going to have serious, you'll probably be deaf, bleeding from the ears, might have a concussion. But I actually did a lot of research on high explosive versus tanks, and high explosive stuff is actually really effective against tanks. I might do like an informational video on it. I haven't decided yet. I might. But yeah, 150 millimeter high explosive shells landing anywhere near an armored vehicle just wrecks it. Anyway, so while this vehicle may not be, realistically, if it was made, may not be as effective. In this game, in this arcade simulation, arcadey game, it's amazingly effective, and I love it, and it's a lot of fun to drive. So yeah, that's it. I thought I think what won us, well, not won, but what kept us from losing this match may have been me going to flank those enemies over around here, going going to C3 and then coming around behind them. Because I caught that IS-6 and that T-44 completely off guard, and I was able to easily penetrate and do tons of damage to their side armor. And then I came back over here, and I basically did the exact same thing down around D4, shooting at the people coming from... Yeah, our base was being attacked from the north, and then from the south, and I basically snuck out here into this town, and I shot the north people in their butts, and then I came down when they were dead, and I shot the south people in their sides, and killed all of them. So, yay, flanking! And I'll say this, my T-28 would never be able to do that. It just doesn't have the mobility, and this turret really helps. I personally think the turret is this thing's key to success. The turret and the low profile make it amazing. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I'll see y'all next video. Hope you enjoyed this one. I sure as heck did. And I'll see y'all on the battlefield. Until next time, look at my butt. Look at the sexy butt. Look at the sexy Roomba butt. A Roomba, 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 Roomba.